I think WWE should have a Scottish faction. Hear me out. This is going to be for main roster, and WWE has some great Scottish talent. So we're going to talk about that right now. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about the women's side first. So this is going to be a main roster faction. It'll be probably something a la Bullet Club or LIJ, very New Japan style faction, to say the least. So, I know Vince doesn't like factions, let's pretend he does. So the women's side, that's a very loud car. On the women's side, we're going to have Nikki Cross, we're going to have Kaylee Ray, she's going to be brought up from NXT, and we're going to have Doudrop, or I would rather call her Viper. So, you've got those three women. Obviously, there are only limited belts for them to chase, so at the moment, I'm going to put Kaylee Ray as the singles competitor. I think her fantastic showing at NXT UK as the women's champion really proves that she can be a top champion. So she will be the women's wrestler in the faction who goes for the singles title. That leaves us Nikki Cross and Viper. They'll go for the women's tag team titles. Obviously, both of them are also top-level competitors who could probably challenge for the top title as well. It's just in this initial scenario, because we have Kaylee Ray as well, we're going to have Kaylee initially going for that tag title. Singles title. Now, we move on to the gents. The men's part of the faction, I had a little bit of trouble trying to figure out just because of how many competitors I want to put in it. So, obviously, we'll start with Drew McIntyre. He's going to be there. He'll basically be the leader of the faction. If we're assuming maybe he's heel, because I think this will be a heel faction. Then we have Noam Dar. Noam Dar will come in. He'll be, he's the one person I couldn't really fit into, and we'll discuss this later. And then you have Gallus. You got Wolfie, and you got the Coffee Brothers. And so we'll work in reverse order. So I think Wolfgang and Mark Coffey will be your tag team title holders. They'll go for the tag titles and definitely win them because I love the Gallus boys. Then we've got Noam Dar, who was the one person I wasn't sure where to fit because if I'm thinking like Vince, am I gonna stick the world title on Noam Dar? I think he's good enough to get the world title. I think he can win the world title. He's definitely that caliber of talent. But from Vince's perspective, he's going to be a mid-carder because Vince likes big, meaty men slapping meat. So Noam I think will be a floater. He'll be able to challenge for everything, but he'll be like the mid-card guy. Then we come to Joe Coffey, and I'd also put him alongside Drew McIntyre. These two are your Vince's big meaty men slapping meat. They're the two heaters there. So Drew obviously is already established as a top class caliber talent. So Drew is obviously going to be your world title holder. There we go. Joe Coffey, again, because we've got Joe Coffey and Noam Dar, they're both these guys who I think could be upper mid-carders. So and I want them to all be on one show. I don't want them split across shows because that just makes things more complicated. If it was split across shows, yeah, I'd happily give each of them mid-card titles or give one of them a mid-card and the other one the world title. But we're assuming they're all on one show. So I think it would be between Noam and Joe Coffey. They'd be both guys going for the mid-card titles, and, it's just a shame that one of them in this whole thing won't have a title. It'll be kind of like Undisputed Era at that one point where four of them were holding titles. No, 3 of them were holding titles. So it's like, I don't know what to do with the other person. I guess King of the Ring, Noam Dar, would be fantastic if he won King of the Ring, because he's great at playing that very smug, not aloof, but full of himself character. So I think Noam Dar winning King of the Ring, then he can come out with the scepter and the crown, whilst the others have the belts. I think that's a really good way of doing that. Just thought that on the fly. So, what do you think of my Scottish faction? Comment down below some names for this faction, because I can't think of any. Remember to like, subscribe, share the video with a friend or family, and remember, watch some great wrestling today.